So, what are your future plans or aspirations? Do you see yourself staying in London long term or eventually returning to the United States? Hey guys, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. How is the healthcare system in the UK compared to what you're accustomed to in the United States? And are there any notable differences or advantages? Let us know.
Amazing.
Yeah. You think it's amazing here?
Well, from my perspective, better than what I had, because I have stories on both sides, which are crazy. But from just having plans around birth control, I remember coming off a flight, I had messed up my knee, got x-rays on my knee, didn't see a bill in sight. Like every single thing that I've had any health issues with for the long time I've been here have been chef's kiss. As far as just having access, now the experience is, you know, it's universal health care, so it's a little ghetto. But with my job, I now have a private provider. So now it's just getting those books in. And I recently found out that all prescriptions in the UK are £9, and I did not know that. Like it could be a 300 value prescription, and it's £9, and I did not know that. My mom was on the floor.
Some people may not even understand what that
I wanted to
that's good.
I wanted to first explain that, like, when you move over, I don't know how it is for y'all, but like when we came over as students, like we pay this healthcare surcharge.
It's
the same thing. And basically it allows us to be on UK healthcare, right? That means when you go to the doctor, there's no co-pays. That means when you go to the hospitals, there's no bills that come back and you owe $1,000. Like, is it free to have a baby here too? It costs like so much money in the States to like
you can't IVF. If you needed to.
So
I remember when I first came here, I like broke my toe.
Oh my gosh.
That was great. So I went to A&E, it's called Accidents and Emergency, which is like their ER. And like I was there for a couple hours, don't get me wrong, but like they saw me, they x-rayed it, they basically wrapped it up. They're like, send you on your way. And I'm walking out of like A&E past the front desk, and I'm going so slow because I'm waiting for them to be like, ma'am, can we take your credit card? And I'm literally walking out, and I like call my partner. I'm like, did I just like rob? Like, did I just steal? Like, is someone gonna like tackle me on the way out? He's like, no, like you just leave. Like, legitimately, you check in, they do everything, and you just leave. I like developed a fibroid when I first got here. I was on the waiting list for a very long time for the surgery that I needed. However, the surgery was completely free. It's like amazing doctors. They know what they're doing so well. The facilities, I think, I get what you're saying. So the facilities, they're a bit retro, vintage, but like the people know what they're doing, and like they are able to help you. And you don't feel like rushed necessarily. It's like they're very invested in your care.
And just so you know, it's not 911, it's 999.
Yes, that's called 999. But no, I definitely will say before I leave here, I'm gonna do all my points. Everything, because when I get back to the States, I already know it's gonna cost me
But even with eyes and everything. No, go ahead. I was just gonna mention, like, even just like getting your eyes checked, like very, very cheap, very easy, very straightforward.
As it should be everywhere.
As it should be.
I have private, and I've used the NHS, which is the free one, and then the private, and like even sometimes the private is cheaper than what the US would be, right? But I would say the quality experience that I got from going to the NHS from doing private are night and day.
It's true.
Right, and that's something different in terms of like also just like getting something tomorrow. Versus like private submitting a little form and trying to wait or something, right? That's different.
But if you really have no choice and you cannot afford private, like at least you can get help.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
Okay, can you share any tips for managing your finances and adapting to the cost of living in London as an expat? How is it financially? Is it as expensive as everyone says?
I don't think so.
Some people say you step outside and spend £100.
Okay, that's valid. But I feel like it depends on where you're coming from.
I think.
Oh, true. You know, well, even like I was in New York right before this. New York is still more expensive than London, I would say. And everyone was telling me like it's gonna be so expensive, so expensive. And then I came here and I was like, actually I feel like I'm saving a couple bucks on like the cocktails and stuff like that. So it kind of depends on where you're coming from, but like things are getting more expensive. So like they're raising
the difference.
You can see the difference in like your transportation costs and stuff. And like in terms of managing your finances, honestly, they don't make it easy, I'm not gonna lie.
Because we get paid monthly.
Which I just learned.
At the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
So they say they get paid once a month, y'all. One big check at the end of the month.
Don't be afraid of Aldi.
I think budgeting is definitely the biggest thing that you should consider. And however you decide works for you. Like I'm like a classic spreadsheet person. I like to look at the expenses I have. I like to consider what I have coming up. Like all these things works for me. And there's some people who like you can get an app to do that or whatever works. But I think it is gonna be a big shift because it's not, you're not getting paid bi-weekly. You're getting paid at the end of the month. Even though it's cheaper for some places in the US, it's still like an expensive city. So like you have to take all these factors in and like just plan.
Knowing that London is a high cost city, you have to keep that in mind. And you should have some type of budget. So you can know, okay, if this is how much my rent is gonna cost, which rent is very expensive here, and it's like very tiny spot. So it's like, you got to know what your rent is, transportation, and food, and everything after that. You know, you got to do what you do. Like a rule of thumb for me is like, and council tax. Rule of thumb for me is like spend 75% of what you got, like invest 15%, and then save 10%. Right? And if you can work along that within that budget, that's fine. And if you know some weekends you can't go out, then you just can't go out. Right? But you got to work within your means.
I do want to add 2 things. So something that was really important for me before I moved here, because I knew, I guess like 6 months maybe before I was gonna be here in London, I wanted to save up as much money as I possibly could. And I know everybody's situation is different, but I was living at home with my parents before I came here. So I was just stacking because I was like, I just have a feeling life is about to get really expensive. So it did help me to like save as much money as I could before I got here. So if you're able to do that, I would say please save up so that you can actually come here and enjoy yourself. Because I know some people who have come and like studied abroad and they couldn't like take the trips and they couldn't do the things because like it was just really difficult because it could be very expensive. So if you're able to save, do that. What's the second thing that I want to say? Oh, you can also, I feel like you can make London work for you, right? In your budget. So I would say, I know I have a friend who moved here and he lives with 3 other people. So it's 4 people in the house. He's paying £300 a month for rent. Like if the more people you live with, honestly, or like if you're, you know, open to house sharing, like you can save money on certain things. Obviously it's not as comfortable as maybe living by yourself or just living with one person. I never wanted to live with more than one person, but I've never lived alone here because I knew that that was going to be out my budget. So I've always shared, which made it more affordable for me. So you really just kind of have to do what works for your budget.
One last thing I wanted to say from a like someone who came as someone who's working. I'm on a temporary project type of thing. So even though I'm working for the UK, I'm still technically with my US firm. And like the one thing no one told me was I was still gonna have to pay like Social Security and Medicare in the US. So it's like on top of me paying taxes here, I'm also still paying. And I think that's something that, depending on what situation you're in, again, just understanding what expenses you have and how you can balance that and where you can live below what you really need to be spending.
Okay, y'all, so we have a bit of a serious question here from Instagram, and they said, what kind of crimes do you hear about the most in London? Which is a fair question because the US, you know, has a lot going on. I would say when I moved here, my guard immediately went down. I would say it's just because like gun violence is a huge thing back in the States, and here there's really no guns at all. So when I walk around, I can kind of just be like, la, la, la. But you do anywhere you go, y'all, any city, any country, like you have to worry about crime. You have to have your guard up, you know. I was just telling Steph this, you know, earlier. I'm like, I try not to have my headphones on. Sometimes I can be very distracted walking around. Like there's still a lot of mugging here. I know a lot of people who've gotten their phones snatched. You know, there's like a one they do all the time where you're like at a cafe or whatever and somebody will put like a piece of paper on the top of your phone acting like they're asking for directions or something. Next thing you know, the phone is gone with the paper. And that almost happened to one of our friends the other day. I'm like, pick up your phone. I know this trick. So you just have to be just aware of your surroundings wherever you go. But obviously knife crime is the major thing here, whereas we have gun violence in the States. equally scary.
Even popping into like, we have a mutual friend that lives next to me, and she popped in the wrong car, and it wasn't the Uber, right? But he started driving off.
Oh my God.
So I think that's something too, right? Like we take public transport everywhere, so taking Uber is just different. And we have a lot of phone theft near where I live in East, where people just are on bikes and just grabbing phones and going.
You know, when we went to the market, if you guys watched that.
Yeah,
then go back and watch that.
Yeah.
But I had my phone, just not even thinking about it. I just quickly put my phone in my pocket, and then one of the security guards was like, tapped me and was like, take your phone out.
A lot of pickpocketing.
A lot of
especially at markets, they're definitely pickpocketing.
So I think definitely for gun violence, much safer, but there can be violence anywhere, I want to say.
Yeah.
You just have to be vigilant.
And we're women who came here alone, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's important to make sure people like have your location. Like, my mom has my location, my best friend has my location. Even my friends here, like my mom wants all my friends like numbers and stuff, like in case I go missing.
Everyone has like a subconscious sense of when you see someone, you're like, something about that is a little off. Like that person standing there doesn't quite make sense. The way they're looking around is like seems a little bit too whatever. Like listen to that, you know, keep yourself safe. But like I agree, I would say that I rarely like I'm getting home late at night, walking from the train to home.
Generally safer, right?
Generally, like very safe.
What do they say on the tube? Say it.
Sorted. Period.
And have friends that live in the areas that you go out with because you can just sleep at their house.
I got a spare bedroom. I'll be on her air mattress. After everyday people, I might be
True.
Someone said, "Is London still fun for you?"
Definitely.
Well, I think you should answer me first.
It is. Like I said, like things have just changed for me, I would say, over the years. Like when I first got here, I was just so excited. Everything was so new. I was having so much fun. It was so many like Americans first doing this, Americans first time doing that. And I would say after being here for almost 4.5 years now, it's still fun. I still enjoy myself because like I said, there's a lot of transition with my friend groups. Like I meet new people all the time. There's still places I feel like I haven't explored yet and gotten to see yet. So I'm very much still having fun here. But you can be still having fun and then also be ready to start a new chapter.
I like the city. London is gonna be London, but you as a person have evolved.
I would say also like London is a very vast place. That's what when everybody travels here to go from Heathrow to like where we live in East takes like an hour and a half, right? So I think London can be fun also because there's so many new restaurants that pop up. There's so many events, museums, exhibitions.
What's that pop up? What's that? How do you pronounce that? Whatever. Champagne. Like they're having
There's a Levi's one that is today, and they have like an after party.
See, I feel like I'm kind of like becoming over London. I feel like I was like these last couple months, and maybe it was just because of the weather over the winter time. It was a long winter, y'all. Long winter. And I was like, I came out of it feeling like, I don't know, London, I wasn't feeling too great about it. But like, kind of like what you were saying, I'm like, I think I just need to go out and continue to do more new things. And not just like stay inside. Like I think there is so much that you can do. We outside, but like don't go to like the same clubs and bars. That's where I think I made a mistake. I kept going to Shoreditch until I rinsed it, and then I was just like, oh, Shoreditch is so done. I didn't know where else to go. So I think just like keep trying to explore new places, and it keeps.
There's vibes for everyone, right? That's like the fashion thing. Like everybody has a different fashion sense, and like for me, I do love like the Afro beats, the piano vibes. Like I got heavy on that when I got here. I don't have that back at home, but I also love to rave. And like the raves back at home are like, you think of like neon glow sticks and like some weird stuff that's much different. It's like they have like disco house and like really like great beats and great music. So like it's great to explore and get all different types of vibes, right?
And it makes you do it more here because you're away, so it's like you want to
explore.
So as long as you just keep wanting to put yourself out there,
and it'll always be fun.
You can, like, I feel like you could be here for 2 months. I mean, I've been here for 4 years and barely returned to any of all the places I've really been. It's like always something.
There's not many restaurants I actually go to.
Especially bars as well. Just like you just keep going with the vibe.
Oh, I always go to the show. I love it.
Oh yes. Go to the show. That's the only thing that we can rock solid.
Should we talk about that though?
Restaurants?
Yeah, because I feel like one thing that came when I was moving here, everyone was like, you better pack some seasoning.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do.
But I feel like
is the food as bad as people say? I say no.
no.
I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think it's as bad.
I don't think it's.
I think it's the type of food, and if you're
That's
trying to
the thing.
compare apples to apples,
Yeah.
it's gonna be bad.
Like fish and chips is not a fish fry. And it will never be.
Yes.
It will never be that.
I like that you said that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, so you just have to like have realistic expectations.
And people need to realize like London is such a melting pot. It's so
Exactly.
diverse. Like, you
Exactly.
don't only have to come here and eat British food. If you want to do that and have like a English breakfast or a Sunday roast, like you can do those things. But it's so diverse. You have you know all types of African food, Caribbean food, Indian food, like
Middle Eastern,
Asian.
Girl, when I found out that Alfredo was American,
And chicken tikka masala.
If you ask me about eating, I've found so many restaurants that are so good that I love going to.
yeah.
But if you ask me about like traditional British, that's when I'm like, listen,
You asking the wrong person.
it's not.
I think it just depends on your taste buds, what you grew up on. But if you want some very flavorful food, you gotta go to specific places. And it depends on where you live, because sometimes people want to travel an hour and a half to get some good food.
Yeah, that's very
So-
true. That's very true.
So, what are your future plans or aspirations? Do you see yourself staying in London long term or eventually returning to the United States? I'll go first. So, if you're a subscriber of this channel, then you probably already know that I recently announced that I am moving back to the United States.
No.
Yeah, I never thought that I would say those words because, like I said, when I first got here, first 2-3 years, like I just could not see myself anywhere else but here. But there has just been like a shift in me and a change in me and the priorities and my goals, and I feel like they are better suited right now, at least, for the United States. So we're just gonna see how it goes. But the thing is, like, and I've said this in prior videos, moving abroad has taught me that I'm not stuck anywhere I go. And I like to say over and over, like, I'm not a tree, right? Like I am able to move, so I can make this decision. Exactly. I can make this decision now and say, like, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to live, and then I can change my mind next year, if I want to. And I feel like living here has shown me that, like, the sky's the limit. If you can survive here, you can survive anywhere. I feel like you said about New York, but like if you can survive in London, especially as an expat, like you can survive anywhere. So yeah, my plan right now is to return back to the States, but who knows, like I might meet my husband and we, decide to go live somewhere else, after abroad, we might go to Dubai or something, you never know. So yeah, this is my plan for now.
I don't know. My partner's English. My partner's English, so his family's here, my family's there. We've talked about this a lot, and we'll probably just continue to talk about it over the next couple years. But like, I want to live in a lot of different places, to be honest. Like, the more I get to see the world, like, because London is so central, like I just went to Greece and Paris for the first time. Like, the more I get to see the rest of the world, the more I want to like live there, like feel what that's like. So I don't know that I'll go back to the US long term necessarily anytime soon, but I also don't think that we'll be in London long term. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I just want to see more of the world and also live in a place that has like I want to see mountains or the ocean.
Aww.
You know what I mean? Like, I love London, but it's very I talk about Denver all the time. Love you, Denver. I just think I need a little bit more of that, because there's a
nature.
Yeah. London's a very built up city, so a little bit more nature would be good.
For me, so I never wanted to stay in London long term. Like, I could move to Australia I thought about Australia for a second. Remember, they got them deadly everything. No, for real. But you can go I feel like the world is my oyster now. For real. Like, I feel like I always felt like that, but now that I did it.
It's always more realistic when you actually.
Oh my gosh, when you actually leave. And experience the world. You realize how much world there is out there.
Oh my gosh. So when we get out of our little ghetto Gucci belt of America.
Stop. Why keep
say, like, for me, home is a feeling, not a place. And so I have that on my wall in my house. And so for me, it's just like, I go anywhere I feel like the love is. And now I'm feeling like love is within me, right? So everywhere I go feels like home. But just like you, I want to move around to so many places. Like, I also move where the opportunity goes too. So like, I always work on like my financial plan. So if the opportunity's there, I'm there too. But I mean, when the love falls into, that's, you know, I think we all are surrounded by, we go where our partner goes, and where we feel like we feel loved, you know?
I really truly have no desire to go back to America, if I'm being really honest. Especially not to Los Angeles. I love saying I'm from LA. I love being born and raised, but to go back after this life and to readjust to that old environment, because when you go back home, nobody changed really. Like in a sense of like, you go back to the same.
Sometimes it feels like that.
Sometimes it can feel like that. So when you're around the past scenarios, you're kind of like, ooh, like how can I fit in now? Or you lose your foot in that, and which is a good thing to some extent. So for me, I'm like, I probably won't leave until I have that sense to leave. I'm currently in the process of probably being sponsored by my current employer, so kind of just chilling. And if I could go anywhere, it would be Portugal.
Yeah, because there's other countries that have visas that allow you to stay. Like, so
I think
Portugal is
Amsterdam
one
has
of
a really
them.
one.
Yeah, the Netherlands has. My friend actually moved there at the end of last year on the digital nomad visa. So there's other places, and that was, you know, something I looked into as well before I decided to move back to the States. I'm like, do I want to go to another country? Whereas right now, I think I just want to feel like settled somewhere. So I'm not necessarily interested in that at this moment. But knowing that those options are out there is very nice. Because, like, the world's our oyster right now. We know wherever we want to go. Can you share any tips or advice for other American women who are considering or planning to move abroad to London or any other foreign country? What's your one piece of advice? Mine is do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Like, I feel like people really overthink it. Like, I was even overthinking it before I came. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I too old? I was 26. Am I too old to do this? Like, I should have done this, you know, when I was younger in undergrad. Like, am I gonna be able to make new friends? Like, all of those things. Like, I feel like we can overthink, and then we miss out on amazing opportunities. And living abroad, at least for me, and just even speaking for y'all, I'm sure it's been like one of the best decisions you've ever made and like the best you've done. And it's been so life-changing and rewarding. So please don't overthink it. Do your research. That's why we're making videos. That's why we're making videos like this to help you. But yeah, just do it because it's such an incredible experience.
I know, one is hard. I mean, like, don't let the fear stop you. I think is what comes to mind, because like it's easy to think, especially because like in the US when we're there, we're only fed the worst news stories about all these various places outside of the US, and it can kind of make us think that like, you know, the devil we know, right, is better than like the one we don't, sort of thing. So like it can be easy to be like, oh, but I heard this happens, or I heard this happens, or whatever. It's like, unfortunately, things happen everywhere. Like, don't let your life be led by fear. Like, don't get trapped in the bubble. If you were feeling like that pull, 100% do it. You like, even if you end up going back home, whatever, like your story, it's like you can build a lot of beautiful things outside of home and still go back or go on wherever. But like, I would say that, like, don't let the fear stop you. And like, I think that, and just try to do as much research as possible.
I feel like mine is in a similar vein. Like, take a chance and just know that you are magic. Like, wherever you are, you will find what you needed in it, you know? And I think a lot of people think when you move away, you need to stay away. And that may not be the case. Like, it's just about you building more of your magic and then just taking what you need from it and then moving on to your next thing.
I love that.
I like the quote, what does it say? Like, instead of wondering where your next vacation is, you set up a life that you don't need to escape from. I think like everybody said too, right? Anything can change. It's okay to change at any moment, right? If you don't like something. And that's the beauty of it. You can come here and be like, don't like it here, right? But I think we also waste a lot of money and time by using the vacation as the escape, and then you come back to it. Like, you can set up your life as a vacation that you want to be, i.e. moving to Portugal or coming to London, right? And maybe you got to also step out on faith, right? You don't always see that staircase. But when you take that next step, God or the universe or whatever will show you the following step after that. But you gotta take that first step to get there. So it's like, 100%. Take a chance on yourself and then just like do the hard work now, because that delayed gratification will be way better than that immediate one.
Everyone's was so good. You can create your own reality, and being able to create your own reality means that you get to dictate like the who, what, when, and how. but then you also don't need to be concerned with the uncertainty. And know that like 1 year planning that's it, and then before you know it, you have your flight book and you're gone. So it's like, if you're thinking about moving, don't do it off a whim. I mean, if you got it like that, do it. You know, if you feel like money is an issue, or if you feel like, you know, you have like dependence or something that's holding you on, really just make a plan to just slowly connect or disconnect from that, and know that you're being led to do something else, and trust that it will take a process, but that process is leading you to wherever you're meant to be. And to add to that, I would say, once you get here, do not be afraid to put yourself out there to build community. Because I was just sitting here thinking about how we all just a stumble of just attending an event, or you know, meeting someone who knows this person, is how now you have all these beautiful connections that you know, if you sit in your house and you don't do anything but scroll through Instagram, you can do that. You can do that back at home. You can do that in America. So really take advantage. If you're really going to do it, take advantage and put yourself out there. You never know what beautiful connections you'll be led to.
As a group, want to say thank you, Paige, for having us on your channel. And
thank you guys for joining me. You all have such beautiful and amazing perspectives, which I know, but now you've shared them with people out there, which I appreciate so much, for your vulnerability and just being so open and providing insight. So thank you all so much. I really think it's going to help a lot of people, because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to do what we have done. And I think just by being open and like talking about it, we show that like anybody could do this. You know what I mean? Like anybody can do it. So yeah, hopefully you all found this video helpful. Thank you all again for joining me. If you want to share like how people can find you online, if you want them to find you online.
You can find me on TikTok.
Yes. She's a TikTok queen.
Trying. You can find me on TikTok. Do I say the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it on the screen as well, but go ahead.
You can find me on TikTok at alamade.modiped.
And what kind of content do you do?
Beauty, fashion, life, hopefully more travel, you know, stuff. And yeah, just like life in London.
You can find me on Instagram, S_JBOSSS.
Yes. I'll put everybody's handles on the screen as well.
okay. Mine is Instagram or LinkedIn if you're trying to professionally connect. Yep. Brittany Greathouse. Yeah, I think that's it.
And what do you share?
Oh, okay. So everything is around personal wealth, financial wealth, also some travel. I love dogs. If you guys know, borrow my doggy here in London, great. I kind of rotate like 9 dogs. So if you see me, you'll either see like wealth, travel, animals. Yeah, that's mainly it.
I'll be all over the place. Okay, so my personal IG is __ Jess Nicole. And then I do have a cooking page and bringing in the concepts of sweet potato biscuits into the UK.
Which are bomb. They're amazing.
She sells them here, so if you want to place an order, how can they do that?
Just DM me just on my Instagram page, and then just as Brittany plugged in. I do work in higher education, so if you all are interested, if anyone is interested, I do offer consulting for employability, careers development. So hit me up on LinkedIn, and that is just simply Jessica Bryant. And I think it would make sense that the location would be London. Yeah. So you should be able to find Jessica Bryant London, and that should pop up.
Oh, thank you all again so much. Please look these ladies up online. Like, they are amazing, and I think you would love to follow them and engage with their content as well. So thank you all so much, as always. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Hit that
hit that bell. Send it to your friends. Email it to your coworkers.
All of that. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.